Hi there folks, Matt Hayson with all things going on around the market, and today is joining me our special guest Pancho, so good morning.
Good morning.
Pancho's going to put me under the microscope again, looking at some questions that the general consumer out there would like to know about real estate. So what have we got in store?
Well, one question that I find quite intriguing by a lot of people tend to ask is, how do you know if you should spend money on improving your property before you sell your property? They're always seeking advice. Do I overcapitalize, or do I just sell the property as is? And it's very, very hard to find someone who can actually provide you with impartial advice. And you get advice coming in from your friends and your family, but really the person you should be seeking advice is probably the agent that you can trust.
Yes.
So how would you, ask that kind of question of an agent, and how would you choose that right agent as well?
They're tough questions because, again, we only meet agents for such a short period of time to select them to sell your home. So, look, there's a few things that you can take some control yourself, and one of the things I'd recommend is a client to go out and have a look at other properties which are being presented on the market at the present time that could be considered to be competitive. That way you're getting some impartial view of what other buyers are seeing and how they might be comparing your particular property. So that when you do start to then invite agents to come through and meet you at your property, you'll get a sense of whether or not that advice is consistent with other things you're seeing in the market. Then I'd also certainly ask the questions around what were the other properties that they've just sold, the last 10 properties that they went through, what that campaign looked like, what investment they'd suggested to the client to put into their property, and what the ultimate outcome was from that sale and that approach that the agent had advised.
Those questions you just mentioned are quite important questions, because they allow you to provide more rational detail about what you need to do and what you shouldn't do. I think the key question is, with all the agents that are available, how do you choose which agent you should get this kind of advice from?
Sure. Well, look, I think track record has a large part to do with that, and it might not necessarily be that they've been in the industry a long time. It could really be like there's an old saying that we always have within our office and in the industry. It's you're only as good as your last sale, and you've got to be remaining active and very open to change and what's happening in the environment. Obviously, market conditions at the present time are shifting, so what you may be advising right now might have been different to what was being advised only 3 or 4 months ago. So what you're really looking for with an agent is somebody that's highly active, relevant in the marketplace today, that's meeting the most current and active buyers that are making decisions to purchase properties, because that will influence the information that they're being able to provide a client. So I guess if you're sitting with an agent, you really want to zoom in and focus on, well, what have they been doing? What are the actions and behaviours they've been really demonstrating over the last 4 to 6 week period, which is very relevant for what's happening when you want to come onto the market with your particular home.
I would imagine from a client's point of view, from wanting to sell their property, it would make sense to actually talk to some of your team members about what their track record was, and maybe some case studies of how they've helped other people make these very important decisions, whether I invest in more in my property or I don't and I sell. I would imagine that the team you have great track records around this area, and to welcome this kind of dialogue with an agent.
Absolutely. Look, we, collectively all work here as a team. We're all out and about. Look, in the core market that I'm speaking about right now in Balmain and Roselle, it's a small area. So all the buyers obviously go and have a look at all of our open homes, whether or not it's through our company or others. So really, when you do appoint an agent, you're not just appointing the individual, you are actually appointing the wider company as well, because what they're saying at open homes around the marketplace and how they're speaking with buyers and what they're doing to introduce those specific buyers to your property actually all has an influence on the ultimate result. So you want to make sure that you're not only engaging a great agent to service you individually, but you want to know that the team also shares the same ideology and influence in the market as well.
Great. Kind of wrapping up, I just wanted to ask you one quick question. Since we last spoke, what have you seen the shifts in the market so far?
Sure.
It's been over about a month or 6 weeks, and there's been dramatic changes. What are you seeing?
Look, I guess the thing to sum it up is that the environment now for buying and selling is far more balanced between both buyers and sellers. So what you're seeing at the moment is buyers have probably a stronger position to negotiate. What I am also seeing as well is very good quality property available. So if you were a buyer that you felt were frustrated that you hadn't been able to find a property through those heated markets over the last year and a half or 2 years. Right now what we're seeing is actually very good conditions to purchase. We're seeing sellers that have an intent to sell, and we've got buyers that have an intent to purchase, as long as the price is realistic and in line with other properties that are available at the moment. So, in summation, for me, I think it's a great time to buy. I think it's a very good time to sell also, as long as everything is realistic.
Okay, great. And the folks out there, you can get a hold of Matt and your phone number or your website.
Of course.
What's the website?
Yeah, look, the website, of course, is many of you are getting this email through our database, but the website, of course, is ch.com.au. We've got some great homes open for inspection this weekend, some amazing properties also going under the hammer for auction, and we're excited about the next couple of months before Christmas.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thanks very much, Pancho.
See you guys.
See you next time.